To build a wall like this that is basically going to go straight up to here. This is going to be the entire box for our wood and kindling, and on this side is where Tasha's going to get all the wonderful shelves and drawers that she ever wants in her life.
We're two hitchhikers. We met while hiking Mount Baldy with mutual friends, wasted no time, got engaged on a frozen alpine lake, got hitched, and have been adventuring together since. We're embarking on a new adventure of living big in a tiny home. Let's see how this goes.
Adventure awaits.
I just got a call from our neighbor, and she was harrowing out in their field, and this all used to be one giant acreage, and the original owner was able to get it to parcel it up into two different properties. Anyhow, we share some of the irrigation lines, and I think it was last year we finally capped off where their water runs and where our water runs, but she hit one of the risers that we had capped off, and I'm checking to see if it affected our water line or not. So I'm gonna go turn on the pump and see if it affected our pressure. Hopefully not, and hopefully there is no random geyser out in the middle of our shared or our fence line. We'll see. I think it affected our water. So our water pressure is low. This number here, where I can't see, this one should be closer to 55 or so. So I'm gonna see how it's looking on her end if she sees a geyser over there. All right, so the verdict is she did hit a riser, so she was harrowing. And harrowing is when you think like a chain link fence and you attach it to the back of your truck and you drag it along the road. And it sort of helps to dislodge any rocks that are sticking out of the ground. It kind of helps to break up the soil and flatten it a little bit. They're trying to get it prepared for a little bit more grazing land rather than having a very rocky surface for the cattle. And we had capped off this riser last year, I believe, and sometimes these things just blend right in. We've done it ourselves to where you just end up hitting it with whatever you're driving over that portion with, and it just knocks it over and it breaks the pipe. So I am going to help her dig up around the pipe. That way when the guys get home from work, they have less to do and we can get the water back up and running. So not what I had planned to do today, but that's the way it goes. At this point, the ground has soaked up the majority of the water and hopefully softened it for us. You can see the broken off riser here, and the hole here is where we have to dig to get to the irrigation pipe. Our main goal right here is to dig down deep enough to see what the damage is. That way we can see exactly what needs to be done to fix this. As far as she and I can tell, it's only the T coupling that was busted and not the 6-inch main water line. We're hoping this is all it is. Welcome to rural living. That is definitely not a summer sky. So fall is hinting that she will be arriving sooner rather than later. We've been dipping into the high 40s at night, not consistently, but we've had a few nights in the high 40s, and the daytime temperatures are still getting up in the upper 70s and 80s. We're still gonna go up high into the 90s, I think, next week, but we're starting to see those hints of the temperature fluctuation heading in a downward direction, and we are expecting rain at the end of the week. So I wanna take advantage of this, especially since we still do have some warm weather ahead of us. So we have our pasture here, which we did mow down. We borrowed our neighbor's tractor. It was really high with a lot of mustard and foxtail, and it's done fairly well over the summer, but we've kind of let it go a little dry. But we need to mow it down pretty low this time around because we are going to be scatter sowing mainly some clover seed. Now, I think I mentioned in the last video that we have the option to do bigger grasses like rye and fescue and whatnot, but we don't have a tractor of our own, nor do we have livestock. So we want to keep what we are planting relatively manageable. So clover is the majority of what we will be planting. So we want to be able to regenerate this soil even more. It was really overgrazed and got very compacted, and we just want to get it back to a healthy state, especially before we introduce possible livestock of our own. Either way, my job today is to use that tractor that we're borrowing from our neighbors once again and mow and scatter the seed probably tomorrow before our rain comes. That way it'll get a head start and we'll get some warm weather next week, and maybe we'll get that good seed setting and germination before fall really sets in.
Our neighbors had to go up to Oregon, but they were able to get an awesome coupler that made the fix so much easier.
I just met up with our neighbor and we checked the coupler where the riser is, and there are no leaks. I went back to the water pump and the water pressure is rising, albeit very slow, but it's still rising. So it probably is just needing to readjust to the pressure in the system because it's quite a big system. But she also gave me, she's growing a garden, so this is a lime crisp cucumber. So I'm gonna try this later on, but I need to get back to tractor time. I have maybe another acre to go. A productive morning, so much better than yesterday when we lost our water. So I'm currently filling up our cistern. We should be good to go in about 15 minutes. And I was able to water the garden, and we've got the pasture out there, getting some water on it now that I've mowed everything down with the tractor. Keeping it one more day to see if there's anything else that Ruben wants to take down. But I think for the most part, we're good to go. So I do have a lot to go over with the weed eater in the tight corners that the tractor can't get to. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be in a position to scatter sow the clover, and then we'll be ready for the rain come Thursday, Friday. And when rain is in the forecast here, it's hit or miss. We could get a downpour or we could get nothing at all. In fact, last week when we got the 2 different downpours, no rain was forecasted until maybe about 20 minutes prior. And I was like, yeah, I could have told you that. Just look up in the sky. So who knows? If not, we can irrigate, but hopefully we get rain because that is always the preferred method of watering. So I'm watering right now and I'm like, what is that noise? And it's just like, it's obviously not a natural sound. It's something thunking, thunk, thunk, thunk against something. And I figured out what it is. Big guy. He jumped inside there at some point and can't get out. I'll help you out, dude. You can do it. Yeah. The irony. Go be happy. All right, well, I did some measuring, and this area over here is about 1/10 of an acre. And we are going to be covering a little bit over an acre of our pasture with some clover, a mix of some other things. But anyway, basically, I need 8 ounces of clover seed to cover this area here. So I started raking some of the dirt, breaking it up a little bit. And once I finish with the rest of it, I will go ahead and scatter sow this. Then I will need to water. Then once this is done, I'm going to focus on some more of the pasture to sow the rest of the clover. We've got some other things, some hairy vetch. I know that sounds kind of weird, but these are all nitrogen fixers and they won't grow 6 feet high. So come springtime, we won't have a jungle, just a nice lush pasture area. And yeah, who knows what we'll be ready for at that point. But right now it's just time to get the soil ready to overwinter. We have somebody's cow over here. So Ruben is gonna have to close those gates. We've got to figure out who she belongs to.
Remember that bull I was chasing around the property last year? Yep, well, she's part of his herd. What is it with these escape artists?
It has been raining for the last 2 days off and on, so maybe we got like an inch of rain total. And not sure how the tomatoes are going to do after this. Hopefully we get enough sunshine today to where things perk up. They're very cold right now. We got a little bit of wind. I don't know that we're gonna get much of a corn harvest. We've lost so many stalks as it is.
But the mountain got snow, possibly to about the 8,000 foot level.
We're getting started early this morning because Ruben has I
got called to fire again.
He got called to fire, so he's got a report later this afternoon. And we have a couple of projects that we want to finish up here inside the house, and one of them we're going to try to tackle this morning, and it will be for that corner there where the mini wood stove is.
My shoe doesn't fit. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a very safe and functional shelving system right here. And I have only a few hours to get it set up so that Tasha can do the tiling. So let's go. What's gonna happen though is this is gonna basically build for you to have a level here, And then I'm gonna have to take the stove off so that when you do the tile, you have all the room that you need.
I'll be able to do it underneath there.
It's gonna be right there on the edge.
Yeah, it should be fine.
That's tight. It's tight, but it's good.
Nice fit. Thank you for cutting that for me. Saves me a lot of grief.
Yes. And now I'm going to screw this in. And then you have your tile surface. And then I get to focus on the drawer setup or the shelves.
Shelves and drawer.
I'm going to build a wall like this that is basically going to go straight up to here. This is going to be the entire box for our wood and kindling, and on this side is where Tasha's going to get all the wonderful shelves and drawers that she ever wants in her life.
You want a treat? Yeah? Why? For what? What'd you do? What'd you do? Why do you deserve a treat?
She's like, I'm cute. $22.50. $22.50. 22. So this wall is this way.
The house. It's just crooked. What time is it? How are you on time?
It's 11:40, 11:14. Only got enough time for this right here.
It's okay if you can't get to it. I feel like you feel very rushed.
I am.
Yes.
Myself at 86 level. Ah, it is. You have any idea how much I stress over? Is it level?
I know.
On a house that has no level walls whatsoever.
Well, it's not
so
square.
It's so
who would
annoying.
have thought that a half an inch off in the squareness of the house would have
Oh my gosh.
made it so stressful
Yeah.
for us to put everything together? All right. So I can tile while you are gone.
Yes.
Okay. So there's nothing I need to worry about under here that the tile is going to affect.
Correct.
So my thought is I still have to lay it out, of course, but I'm thinking
Yes.
of using those two straight tiles, the big ones, in the center, and then filling in around the edges with the pebbles.
What's funny is I was thinking about the straight on the sides and then the pebbles.
And pebbles in the center. I was just thinking of wiping it clean. It would be easier if the center were flat.
Oh. So what if you had these, the center right here, these two tiles and then this.
And then just do it off center over there
Yeah.
and that be the pebbles.
Uh-huh.
I'm okay with that.
And then if you get a wild little hair up your butt, you can build the shelves.
Are you okay with me doing the slide outs?
Yeah.
I might attack it. It depends on how I do with this. How much this stresses me out. I need a break.
Well, you saw how I did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's tedious.
it is. But
I had already done like 8 of those.
damn right,
collabs,
you
and
did big good.
6 of them worked. 2
Yes.
you had to fix.
Yes.
So
That's a good ratio. I'm off to adventure. Again.
you have to say it.
Oh, well, adventure awaits.
You don't sound very enthusiastic about this one.
I am not. It is just. There's so much. You guys have no idea what I gotta deal with. I have projects on top of projects that are waiting for one project to finish so I can finish the other project that's waiting on top of that one. Like if one project isn't done, the other one doesn't get to finish. Yeah.
Oh, you mean work or here?
All of it.
Well, that everything.
Because like we got the Pontiac, we got the Mini, and then we got the Mini training for the truck, and then we got the truck. Got to get ready for us to be able to haul the trailer.
We still have to finish the deck. It's not enforced.
I know.
We've got to do the grate.
Yep.
For the snow and ice.
And we got to build the road to our house. It's a 1/4 mile long.
And we have to gravel it.
An entire 1/4 mile.
The rain we got this weekend, we were already slipping.
We were slipping and sliding out.
So we have to level it out again. But I'll in due time.
I have to secure this. I need to tighten right here. Okay, more work to do.
If I had a watch on, you have 2.7 minutes.
There it is. There it is. The tiles can't flex. Their base cannot flex. The tiles need to be flat and level. Hooray.
And now we have somebody coming to take a look at our road.
I know, look at our road to give us a quote for how they're going to cut the road. So, bye everybody.
Ruben has safely checked in over at fire camp and has sent me a couple of videos to share.
Taking a horse back to its owner. Okay, so I have that green truck in the front of me. It's a fire truck that is basically limping back to camp. What's happened is that the transmission's stuck in second gear because the torque converter is basically not sending the correct information to the engine, and it's in limp mode right now. And at the same time, I got this wonderful caravan of, oh, you can't even see it. There you go. Wonderful caravan of vehicles going down this very narrow road. How they're gonna make it, I have no idea. Because this is a very dangerous road even for regular cars, and for this big rig to be making it.
Well, family, that wraps up this week's update. I know it was a little all over the place, but that's just sort of how life is up here. We roll with the punches and do what we can. Hopefully you still enjoyed it. If you did, consider giving us a like and letting us know what you thought in the comments below. We're hoping for some good news that Ruben's duty over at fire camp will be shortened and he'll be home sooner rather than later. In the meantime, I plan to work on tiling, drawer pull-out slides, and watching clover grow. I know, very exciting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Are you recording?
This area that I will going, it's happening, but it's a slow it's I totally choked on I don't know what. Feels like a piece of flaxseed stuck in the back of my throat.
As I drop my phone.